Yo, how's everybody doing? Hey, welcome to Main Politics, episode 86. We're gonna 8645. Um, how's everybody doing today? Is everybody good? I know it's been a while since I've done this. I'm happy to see that some people are back. Some of our regulars. Uh, hey everybody. Hey Nat. Oh hey, haven't seen. I didn't realize you hung out in here, Nat. Maybe you've been in here before. Good to see you. Hey Jared. Hey Adam. Hey Modus. Hey Arnaldo. Hey Amit. Hey Volta. Hey Soulman. Hey Chronicle. Um, hey LNF. Yeah, so if you guys didn't hear already, um, I am working on, um, well, not working on, it's already almost finished, a completely badass gaming PC that will have about a 40 terabyte game library on it, which essentially means I will be able to play and load up for you guys on command upon request any video game made PlayStation 3 and before. Like, I literally mean that. Any video game that you can possibly imagine will be playable, and I will have the entire library at my fingertips. So, very excited about that. There's a lot of games that I have wanted to play for you guys, and just in general on my own private hobby time of gaming. Um, so this is gonna be really awesome, and I'm most excited about having access to, like, you know, the full Sega Saturn library, for example, or the full, um, let's see, what did Triox just say? All the trash, all the treasure. Yeah. Also, like the full 3DO library, the full Atari Jaguar library, the full Philips CDI library. So I want to get all the crap and all the good stuff together, because I think Main Politics is kind of a good mixture of both the crap and the awesome games. Um, Sometimes it's hard for me to decide if I want to play a terrible game for you guys or a really good one. And I think this show mostly started playing good games that I actually liked. Um, but there are quite a lot of bad games out there that are fascinatingly bad. So um, I feel that that's pretty appropriate as well. Um, so my original plan for today was I was going to just go through and play the worst Game Boy Advance games I could find. Adam G remembers American Idol was one of the weirdest, worst games that I've probably randomly pulled up here so far for the Game Boy Advance. And Game Boy Advance is a particularly good system that has, in my opinion, one of the weirdest and worst game libraries ever made. So, that being said, I have chosen to focus on Game Boy Advance today and to play several games that likely you guys have probably never seen before. Maybe some of you have, that are very, very bad. And they're mostly like licensed properties of games for, like, made for tweens. Like kids who watch like those awful Disney Channel sitcoms that are like weirdly chaste but are also sort of like pedo-y at the same time. Um, like the kind of remind you of those weird Nickelodeon teen sitcoms, like tween sitcoms. Um, there's definitely something. I mean, have you guys watched that video, by the way, of remember the Nickelodeon exec who was like outed for basically being a pedophile? There's a really interesting video, and I wouldn't recommend watching it if you're kind of a weak stomached person or if you get skeezed out easily by things. But there is a video of, gosh, I think it's Ariana Grande, actually. I want to say it's her, although I'm very like pop culture illiterate, so it's probably not her. But something in the she was either the star of a Nickelodeon sitcom or or someone else on her level of fame was. And man, the things that they had her do in that sitcom when she was like 12 years old and shit is kind of shocking. I mean, it actually makes like all the outrage over QDs and stuff. Um, it kind of dwarfs that, I think. The type of stuff. Yeah, flying Swidnik. Yeah, go ahead, put it in. Um, Arnaldo, there's a couple different shows on Nickelodeon that were like this, so there might be multiple examples. Um, the one I saw was like they had the girl do like suck on her own toes and stuff like a 12-year-old girl, like someone wrote comedy in a sitcom. I mean, I don't even, I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't remember. Um, okay, then yeah, that might be what it is then. It's not RAID. It's not RAID. It's multiple drives. It's 3 different drives, not RAID. It is literally about 40 terabytes of games. Now, if you think about it, that could be easily achieved when you start looking into modern PC games, PS3 games, Nintendo Switch games. Um, that those that space gets taken up quite fast, and I'd say the majority of the library is mostly comprised of um, those kind of games. So, like, I'd say probably about 50% of the space is taken up by all the modern games that take up like multiple gigabytes. Um, there's some games for the PC that aren't cracked yet, so those are still being worked on, like Red Dead Redemption 2. Games like that haven't, as far as I know, haven't been cracked yet. And some of those games won't be on there, but I'll literally have access to like almost everything you can think of, except PS4. Some PS3 games have not been emulated properly yet. Hey, Investigate 311, how's it going? I don't think I've seen you in here before. Thanks for joining. This is where all the cool kids hang out. This is it's the best streaming show on the internet, if you haven't heard. So what I normally do in here is I play video games, and oftentimes it ends up being just a shit talking session, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know what I feel like talking about today. I mean, the election is only like 13, 14 days away. I mean, that's fucking nuts. I don't even really know what to say other than, of course, I am deeply fascinated by the Pizzagate sequel that people on the Trump side of the equation are trying to pull off right now with the Hunter Biden laptop. I find that absolutely fascinating and predictable. But just the things that they're saying about Hunter having to do with pedophilia are pretty extreme, and hilariously neocon flavored. So, like, we simultaneously are getting a regime change propaganda op mixed with a Pizzagate 2 smear job on Hunter Biden. And by that, I mean, I don't know if you've seen these tweets or these revelations that are coming out from people on OAN or Gateway Pundit. But essentially, what's coming out right now, and even a guy from Newsmax actually said this, is that there's a video, they're alleging there's a video of Hunter Biden raping a Chinese child in China and that the Chinese government like set him up, and then like that's how they're going to play Biden. It's like a perfectly cartoonishly dumb narrative that mixes together like the Steve Bannon anti-China regime change op stuff with Pizzagate. So I find it comical for that reason, because it's clearly false, but it's kind of funny as fuck. That they think that'll work. I don't know who's gonna be gullible enough to believe that, but I already saw like people in Glenn Greenwald and Aaron Mate's comment section, their replies on Twitter, like repeating what I just said as if it was true. They're like, man, it's gonna be crazy when the videos on Biden's laptop come out of him like raping kids. Get ready for that. And it's like, what in the fuck malfunctioned in your brain to think that that's real? I mean, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Omar Rana. Yeah, that's the polls. You know, people keep talking about the polls. Hey, John, I didn't see you in here. Uh, People keep talking about the polls and why it's a clear victory for Biden. I do not. I am not going to believe anything I see in the polls, to be honest. I mean, I understand that it's mathematical, that you could, predict things to a certain degree of certainty if things are pulling a certain way, but I just do not want to have that same feeling of surprise or shock. So I have chosen to predict pretty confidently that Donald Trump will win this election. That's my prediction. If another result happens, I will be surprised. Bird Worldist, I don't know how much Roger Stone is behind this crap. He doesn't seem, actually, this time around, he's a braggart, Roger Stone is. And I don't see him bragging or getting himself involved much at the front of this story about Hunter Biden's laptop. And that to me is notable because Roger Stone was all over the other stuff. So I think this is largely a Bannon, Rudy Giuliani, Miles Guo thing. I mean, I know I haven't talked much about Miles Guo on this show, but if you follow me on Twitter, you probably are familiar a little bit with the fact that this sketchy fugitive Chinese billionaire guy is funding Bannon, that Bannon was actually arrested while hiding on Miles Guo's yacht, his $10 million yacht. So it's strange because Miles Guo's own people were hinting at the Hunter Biden laptop over a month ago. They were the first ones to actually drop this information. Bannon couldn't help himself, bragged about it to some Dutch TV interviewer, I think about a month ago also. It's super interesting, though, how obviously there's something sketchy about it. I mean, I'm not saying it was obtained in a hack. I'm not saying that I think Russia has anything to do with it. But there's clearly something strange about how that story materialized in terms of them saying that that some whistleblower at a computer repair shop called Rudy's lawyer. I mean, it's very, very hard to believe. It's extremely shady. Rudy Giuliani is one of the most insane and brazen deep state players I've ever seen. I want you to find someone else who had an anthrax cleanup company conveniently just a few years after 9/11 to get a no-bid contract for cleaning up a building of anthrax. And then trying to buy the building. That's one of the sketchiest things I have ever heard of. So to me, it's absolutely fascinating that Giuliani is the one taking the lead on this. Like, is he a kamikaze? How much dirt do other people have on Giuliani? I mean, it's actually remarkable to me that he has fully avoided any form of criminal prosecution, but not even just criminal prosecution, but like an investigative journalist doing a deep dive on all the sketchy ass shit that he did after 9/11 and anthrax. You know what's weird? You know who's one of the only mainstream figures ever to question not just Michael Bloomberg, but also Giuliani's handling and destruction of the 9/11 crime scene? Anthony Weiner, believe it or not. Anthony Weiner is actually the only person to have ever raised the issue of the destruction of the World Trade Center evidence on the floor. I mean, it's a little bit strange, I think. It's a little bit strange. I mean, I'm not saying Anthony Weiner was set up, but it is interesting how much the heat came against him so quickly. Kind of makes me wonder if he brought something up that was too taboo on the House floor. Who else has ever brought that subject up in mainstream media or anywhere else in a mainstream forum that Giuliani made the decision because Homeland Security and the FBI allowed him to, for some reason, get rid of the 9/11 crime scene evidence before an actual forensic investigation could be done? I mean, the blame is not solely on Rudy Giuliani. It's also for the other law enforcement agencies who didn't see that as a crime scene that needed to be contained and forensically examined, which is very strange for one of the biggest crimes to have ever occurred on American soil. So, Rudy Giuliani is extremely fucking sketchy. I mean, his law firm represented Manuel Noriega. Giuliani has been in this weird deep state realm for a while, and it's hard to tell which team he's on. You know, because it kind of almost implies that the so-called deep state that we discuss is factionalized, and it isn't just some monolith that has the same agenda, that there are actually people who sort of play this deep state role in the government or outside of it who are potentially at odds with each other at times. And that's something that I think is probably more likely than this idea that John Brennan and all these people are part of some cohesive force that shifts things, you know, against the anti-deep state faction, which is we're supposed to believe is Trump, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, come on. Yeah, John Judge. I mean, John Judge is a smart dude. I think that he's probably right about that. I actually drank too much water before I started this, so I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna take a 30-second break. I'll be right back. Triox, I don't know. That's a good question. I think I don't know. I don't know what we should call it. I don't know. Um, I don't even really know if it's important, you know, to call it a particular name. I mean, we know that there are unelected people in and outside government who shift government policy and clandestine policy. And that's pretty much always been the case. So it is interesting, though, that they've tried to weaponize the term deep state to use it against Trump's political enemies. I'm wondering how that'll play out after the Trump era. How people will utilize that weaponization of it post-Trump. That's hard for me to imagine, actually. But I'm gonna play a little Zen right now before I move on to the shitty games. Actually, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we do the shitty games first so we can kind of get a palate cleanser of Zen, Intergalactic Ninja there at the end? Because I kind of feel like this game deserves its proper due. It's actually surprisingly good. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I've decided. How the fuck, how do I get out of here, though? Sorry, Triox. Okay. So, to start off today's... Oh, yeah, Nat Weiner. That was a... I don't mean to make this an Autechre versus Aphex Twin war, but I mean, Autechre is crushing it. in that war. Can you imagine if Autechre slapped their name on like something as lame as a base station? I mean, they would never do that shit. Sometimes Aphex Twin to me seems like a total genius, and other times I'm just like, what in the hell are you doing? Like his live shows, I still don't get it. I still don't get why someone with as much resources and energy and the ability to get people to work with him as he can is doing these DJ sets at these festivals where it's like mostly just like rave singles and stuff. And then some of his music peppered in. I don't get it. I'm shocked that people are flying across the country to go see those shows. I mean, if you want to check off on your bucket list that you saw Aphex Twin, I guess go for it. But I mean, it does seem like a cash grab for sure. So I'm gonna start with and I haven't played any of these yet, by the way. So you're gonna be joining me for the first time, checking this shit out. So let's start with this one. License to Drive, not that one. Isn't that the one I actually already played for you guys? License to Drive. I mean, let's talk about the tubing thing for a second. I am terrified of accidentally leaving something streaming. Absolutely terrified of it. So to think that someone would start jerking off without knowing for sure that their stream is over, it's almost incomprehensible to me. It's hard to believe. Very hard to believe. Oh, there's actual multiple Mary Kate games here. Wow, okay. Well, that's great to know. But I am actually, right now, I am very focused on playing this. March of the Penguins for Game Boy Advance, ages 3 and up. So here we go. I'm sure this game is going to be really fucking shitty, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my god. So I was just telling someone today, I think it might have been Obnobs on Twitter, that the Game Boy Advance is fascinating to me because it launched at the time when very low quality streaming audio on the internet was also a thing. And I don't even remember the N64 having this much speech and like full length audio tracks in it. Now, if you can hear it, this is not a full length audio track. But there is a surprising amount of them, and lyrics and full speech in this system. And it's almost like at a real audio quality level, like way worse than MP3. And it's kind of fascinating to me that they would try to shove so much audio data onto these games. This is the incredible true story in the harshest place on earth of a family's journey to bring life into the world. Moving my screen a little closer. Okay. Here we go. Holy shit, what? Oh, it's like Lemmings. Wait a second. Okay, wait. Wait, I think my... Ah! Wait, what? This is actually not terrible. So it's like Lemmings, but I have no idea what the goal of the game is. I mean, I should have looked at the intro screen, huh? Wow, this is not as bad as I expected it to be. It's not good. Okay, I can't put that slide down. Snowballs? Okay. What the fucking shit is this? What do these fish do? So I can lead them in whatever direction I want with the fish, but I have no idea. Oh, I'm supposed to get him up there? Okay. I think. Huh. I have no idea what's happening. Sometimes I feel like a total moron. Like, this game is for ages 3 and up. No idea what's going on in this game. I'm gonna have to restart it. Okay, what is the instructions? Okay, the emperor penguins start their perilous journey across the harsh landscape. Okay. Collect at least 12 snowflakes and get all the penguins to the breeding colony before time runs out. Okay. 12 snowflakes. So where are the other snowflakes? Where's the breeding colony? I'm fucking really confused. And this slide? What am I supposed to do with this goddamn slide? It's huge. Oh wait, I can scroll. Oh my god. It's a scrolling screen, guys. Okay, so I guess I gotta bring them up here somehow. I mean, I have to admit, this game could be far, far worse than it is. It's actually, like, not bad. And I have no idea what that does. Oh, this is fucking annoying. Seems like the more trampolines you build too, like the more the game slows down. It stopped letting me build them. Okay, so what about right here? Oh shit. Damn, this level's big. It's like Lemmings with a very big scrolling screen. I do not understand how a 3-year-old would be patient enough to play this. All right. Well, that was March of the Penguins. I have a feeling that's actually going to be the best game of what I plan to show you today. I can almost, in fact, I can guarantee, because I did test out some of these other games first. This one I did not try out yet, but I think we should. Girls' Night Out. Whoa! This is a breakbeat. Oh, that's it. Shit. Shit. Should we play advanced mode? Too basic. Did multiple programmers work on this game and forget that there was already a difficulty level setting? What the fuck just happened? 2 difficulty level settings. Stacked right on top of each other. Alright, let's check it out. Press the control pad to match the following symbols. Excuse me? Oh no. This is one of those like Dance Dance Revolution songs. Alright, here we go. I don't even understand what's happening right now. Dude, this has way too many like tutorials and shit. What the fuck? It's like not on beat at all. Fuck. Much more I can do. This is so bad. I agree with I Am Sick Man. I agree. This is unplayable bullshit. I feel like these DDR games are bad for the most part. I mean, it's kind of, I could see the novelty of like playing on an actual Dance Dance Revolution arcade machine. Andy Howe 421. I don't think I have it on here, but I could play it in the future. Let me see. Maybe I already have played it, actually. Let me see which game you're talking about. Gon Ryu. I don't know. Oh, yeah. No, we absolutely have played this game already. Lori on MAME two-player MAME Politics episode, we played this. Feels like almost like a year ago now. We played Gonru. But I was under the impression it was 2 players, so it's actually just her playing through the game. Okay, Arnaldo, good call. Good call. I agree with you. This looks like it's going to be a straight up puzzle game. They're made by 2 different companies, so let's try Blast. Fortunately, I think it's another DDR game. If it is, I'm going to turn it off right away because I can't stand those games, to be frank. So let's check it out. Let's see what the hell's going on here. This is awful. I can tell this is awful. But yeah, fine. I'm ready. Yes. Whatever, dude. This looks really shitty. I have no idea what kind of game it is. We'll see. Dude, there's so many like options. I feel like this is what killed video games for me. Like, notice how Zen Intergalactic Ninja, it's just start and options, and you go right into the fucking game. I would have hated this shit if I was a kid. I would have been like, why in the fuck can't I just play this fucking game, dude? Fuck. I mean, fucking tutorials and like intro screens and sub-menus games have now. It's intolerable. Like, all games that have action gameplay should just have an arcade mode that you switch on right when the game boots up. And when you click that option, you get rid of all the stupid-ass sub-menus and tutorials. Every single one of them. I mean, have you played any SNK arcade games? The tutorial is in the attract mode, and you can skip right past it, and it's super simple, and it's usually one screen of intro, and that's it. Yeah, this is like Mario Party, meaning it's a pile of shit. So I'm turning it off. I thought that these bad games would actually like make me in a better mood, but it's like making me pissed. Playing how horrible these games are. Mario Pinball Land. Sounds awful. I'm gonna go for. There's a couple games in the Z category that I was wanting to play, and you'll see one of them right now. Sorry, the music is off. I gotta turn that shit off. Fucking Super Nintendo thing. Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy. Interesting. Zoe 101 is obviously one of the games I'm playing. Zoe 101. Here we go. Did you guys hear about Jeffrey Toobin going to a swingers club with Roger Stone? And he claims he did it for research purposes for a story. Pretty funny. Why do journalists think that anybody will believe that they do depraved or sexual things for research? Like, does anybody believe that anymore? Does anybody believe that Kurt Eichenwald was actually interacting with child pornography on the internet for research purposes? I don't think very many people believe it, but oddly, he's still employed by various news outlets. In fact, a radio host that I actually loved. I will admit, I loved a radio host who was probably a pedophile because I didn't realize he was at the time. He was like a extremely anti-Bush, anti-neocon, lefty radio host out here in the Bay Area named Bernie Ward. Some of you who listen to KGO or know Bay Area radio history might know his name. and it was undeniable that he was engaging in some really crazy things, but he kept doubling down and saying it was for research for a book he was working on, all this stuff. Kept doubling down until an actual transcript of conversation that he had with somebody leaked, and it was like, holy fuck. Like, actually, if you're one of those people who gets like some kind of thrill off of checking out stuff about Pizzagate or elite pedo rings or anything like that, the thing that probably fucked me up the most was reading that transcript of Bernie Ward talking about his own children. I mean, it was honestly, it's more disturbing than anything in the movie Finding Neverland, to be honest. So yeah, Nick, let's do it. Zoe 101. Jesus Christ, look at all this intro. See, this is the I cannot relate. Like, if I had a kid and they liked playing games like this, I'd be mad. I'd be like, play a fucking good game that doesn't make you go through 10 minutes of intro screen bullshit. Like, what is this bullshit? What? What in the fuck is this, dude? Oh my god. It's like frisbee golf. It's like windjammers for assholes. Holy shit. This game is horrific. I can't even like move. Well, no, I guess that's cheating, right? If I move, it's supposed to be golf. You know what's pretty funny? What I know most about disc golf is that the only disc golf place in the Bay Area near me is the most popular gay cruising spot, like in the entire like 30-mile radius. It's such a big gay cruising spot that I have never seen anybody playing disc golf ever, but I have seen multiple times dudes taking their dicks out and people going into the bushes to fuck. So I'm wondering if anyone's actually gone there completely ignorant of that and just like been like, hey man, let's go play some fucking disc golf, dude. Check it out, bruh. And they go, and then they like accidentally throw their disc into the bushes, and they just hit two guys trying to get it on. John Gold, believe it or not, gay cruising is not a California exclusive activity. In fact, there used to be a website. I had a friend who used to look at this website, and there was a cruising spot, multiple cruising spots in the Vatican. And one of the bathrooms in the Vatican was a gay cruising spot. Pretty much, it used to be sort of the closeted gay guy thing to do for a long time. It was like, you know, it's. I don't even think a lot of people who do cruising have a public sex fetish. It's for a long time. It was like a lot of closeted men would do it. Adam, comment on it. You probably know about cruising. I don't mean that as a personal. I just mean the culture. You're probably pretty familiar with it. I mean, that's what George Michael got caught doing. That's what's his face? What was the senator who did the foot tapping? He was cruising too. So yeah, that's my disc golf story. Okay, so that game is fucking horrible. Horrible. Adam G, yeah, that makes sense. But I feel like there's probably some more old school cruisers out there. I mean, Grinder probably does take the fun out of it a little bit. Like if you're into cruising for sort of the illegality of it, I feel that Grinder would not be a sufficient replacement. But for the other kind of, if you're closeted, if you don't want your wife to know, Grinder's probably better, maybe, if you don't show your face on it. Okay, I already played that pile of shit. Hold on, I made a list of terrible Game Boy Advance games. Let me look it up again. I mean, you can see what I'm talking about, though. Look at how many bad games are on here. Kim Possible 1, 2, and 3. I mean, Jesus Christ. Some of these Nintendo properties, like the Kirby game and stuff, is probably good. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find one of the other picks that I want to show you guys. Oh, yeah, that's what I'll see. I already played Zoe 101. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course is the other one I was going to play. To me, this one is like the most fascinating bad game I've played so far. You'll see. You'll see why. Well, I don't know if it'll fascinate you as much as it fascinates me, but... Oh, there's 2 of them. Also, this game is supposed to be awful. Someone told me, so I might pop that one on too. Actually, I should go for the fucking sequel. Why not? That's So Raven Part 2. 2005 was apparently a very weird era for games. All right. Supernatural style. Is it... Does anyone who's seen this show, can you tell me what the premise is? Is she like a witch? Supernatural style? Jared, I actually will play that game on a different episode because Revenge of the Sith is a very good game. It's a little repetitive, but it's very, very good. So I think I'm actually going to try to do a full playthrough of Revenge of the Sith because it's really only worth showing you guys if I could show you the ending of the game, because it is surprisingly similar to the movie, which is kind of shocking for a children's video game. But it's actually worth seeing because, I mean, the same thing that happens between Anakin and Obi-Wan in the movie happens in the game, verbatim, dialogue, everything. So it's kind of raunchy and interesting, and the gameplay is kind of a beat 'em up, but the gameplay is like really solid. So is the graphical presentation. Probably actually the best Star Wars game I've seen outside of the Super Nintendo. I mean, I don't care for most of the next gen Star Wars games. I hate to do this again, but I'm gonna go to the bathroom one more time, and I'm probably gonna play it until around 2:45. So if anybody wants me to jam in another bad game, let me know before I'm done here. Hey, C Fantastic. I'm glad we have some new viewers here. Thank you for coming in to join. Okay, I'll be right back. So I know I've been talking about pedophilia a lot. Bear with me, guys. I know it's a heavy pedophilia episode. But how many do you think? Do you think there's a large percentage of people out there, like Republican right-wing people, who believe that Hunter Biden actually has videos on his laptop of him raping a Chinese child? Because I almost feel like that nobody really believes that, but it's just weird. Like how much of that stuff that goes out on the internet is just like information war, weaponized shit, or how much of it these people actually believe. And it's confusing to me because it's such. You would think that any person with even an ounce of intelligence would be like, of course that's not true. You know, especially, I don't know. Yes, he was. Well, I don't know if he was. I don't know. We haven't seen the video, Kaylee. We haven't seen a video yet. So it's possible there's videos of him smoking crack. Yeah. So I have to say the music is pretty good. So there is something supernatural. Look. Look. I can like project my body? Is this what she does in the show? Is she supernatural in the show? What the fucking hell? This is one of those where the fuck do you go type of games. She can see the future. Does it get dark, Omar? Does it like does her ability to see into the future, does it ever get creepy, or like she sees her own parents dying in a car accident or anything like that, or is it just like mostly family fun? What in the fucking hell is happening? Oh, cool. I see. Oh, so the gameplay has this. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's a terrible game. I suppose it's slightly marginally better than well, okay. Time to turn this shit off. I would say the two best games I played today are March of the Penguins and that. What was the other game somebody wanted me to play? Oh, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I'm gonna play that on another episode. I think I'm actually, since I've been playing bad games all day, I think it might be time now to actually play a good game before we sign off here. I think that's in order now. So I'm gonna put on Zen. Now this game is surprisingly good, and I think that the only reason more people haven't heard of it is because it came out in '93, I think, which is really late for the Nintendo. I mean, the Super Nintendo I think was already out for like 2 years at this point. But it's a quality Konami game. I mean, it has pretty much everything you would expect out of a decent Konami game. And of course, I gotta put it to easy. Not many Nintendo games have a sound test like this, which is pretty rad. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Jenny. How's it going? So, if anyone doesn't remember Zen, it was a comic book property put out by the same company that put out Archie Comics. And he's like environmentalist. So part of his thing is he fucks up people who pollute stuff. You see that zoom out, zoom in sprite effect? I mean, how many Nintendo games have that shit? That alone is pretty impressive. And it switches points of view also. The music and the aesthetics of this game reminds me of like improved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, kind of. This is hard though, this part. Okay. Some slowdown to be expected for a game this impressive. This part is hard as shit. I still don't understand what to do here. I'm supposed to like have him drop me off like... No! So you can somehow control how it drops you off, I think. Come on, fucker, drop me off, motherfucker! See, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do right there. Can I just jump on there? Oh, I can. Son of a fucker! That timer really messes me up too. It's like, it makes the game way more intense feeling. It's already... Oh, shit! Good thing I upped my lives in the No point in even continuing. I'm starting at the beginning of the game anyways. Alright. Alright. Get to that same fucking part now. I mean, it's not that it's... I like that it's not a one-hit kills game, but it's still really hard. I mean... It kind of reminds me of Battletoads in terms of like how difficult they made it right out of the gates. But I feel like the Battletoads first level is not even as hard as this, honestly. Fucker! Fuck. Son of a bitch. Shit. Ah! Oh no! No! Jesus Christ. It's like if you don't kill those enemies, they follow you through the level. It's really annoying. Fuck you. Oh! Wow. Mossad messed up my SNES controller last night. I'm playing this on a SNES controller. Jesus. Oh! No! Yeah, I'm sad about that too, Adam G. I mean, it really is a wake-up call, I think, to everybody. If they can take his channel down, um, I think they could take anybody's channel down who's covering anything from a similar angle. It's very, very unfortunate. And I just think it further just emphasizes how little we should be depending on any of these channels, or YouTube, or any social media at this point. I think it's a smart move to try to figure out alternate ways of getting out information that includes even physical mailing lists, which is something that people used to do back in the day. If you run any kind of media platform whatsoever and you're worried about being deplatformed, I would recommend getting people's email addresses and physical mailing addresses, and also announcing to your audience that that's something that you're going to start doing, and explain why and all that stuff. The only thing I would avoid doing is to get too paranoid about it, because it's actually happening. It's real. A lot of people who do alternative media stuff, or even dabble in conspiracy stuff, are, I think, prime targets for it. But also, I think at the same time, be careful about it making you too paranoid. So, for example, don't start feeling as if they're out to get you, specifically, and they're trying to stop you at every turn. I mean, that might be possible for some of the people out there doing this kind of work, but I think I notice some people go into a little bit of a paranoid direction after they start getting deplatformed. I mean, you even saw Dave Rubin doing it, saying that he's shadow banned, all this stuff, even though he has like a huge following. So more likely than not, I think this stuff is done algorithmically. But I definitely think that people are being targeted as well. But I just want people to keep in mind that if you get deplatformed, or if YouTube just completely deletes your channel arbitrarily, that would make me paranoid, and I would have to start fighting off a little bit of paranoia in my own mindset, depending on what happened moving forward. Like, if I tried to send an email to somebody and didn't get through, or if I tried to tweet something and it said I couldn't tweet because there was an error, those kind of things will feed into your paranoia. And I think it's best to just try to be aware of that. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely avoidable, but just, keep in mind that you're not going to help anybody if you're getting that paranoid. And I think that people who have been deplatforming platforms should be encouraging what I'm trying to encourage. I don't know how many of those people are encouraging it, but I think it's really the only countermeasure to what's going on right now. So it's not to get on Gab. It's not to get on these other channels. I mean, that's not the solution. I think it's just to build up your own audience free of any major corporation besides an ISP. I mean, you're always going to have to use an internet service provider or a web hosting company, but there are also ISPs and web hosting companies that subscribe to like freedom of speech and subscribe to, they are favorable towards alternative media and those kinds of people. So that's what I would like more people to be doing. And I don't really see a game plan that anybody has set up in terms of what we should all do. And part of that, I think, is partly because the debate has been hijacked by conservatives. Um, and also part of that is because a lot of people on the left encourage deplatforming. So I'm not just faulting conservatives. I also think the left has played a big role in sort of keeping people's eye off the ball here in terms of actually encouraging deplatforming and cheering it on when it happens. So, for example, someone in my own replies, or I think it might have been in the replies to Abby, she talked about how bad it was that Last American Vagabond's YouTube channel got completely removed. And several people responded saying, like, good. You know, he does talk about masks. You know, he is an anti-masker, so it's good that he's been deplatformed. I mean, I don't agree with people pushing anti-mask stuff, especially sort of the more knee-jerk, base level stuff about how it's a muzzle, about how it's, a symbol of oppression, or how it's a burqa. I mean, that shit drives me nuts. So does some of the cherry-picked science stuff to try to make it seem like masks harm you. However, The Last American Vagabond, he does a lot of really good work. He platforms Whitney Webb, who I think is one of the best sort of conspiracy-friendly investigative reporters who's actually writing and doing work right now. So it's a really big deal. And we've had Whitney Webb on our podcast. I've been on Last American Vagabond. And there's this sort of weird crossroads we reach where it's like, wait a second, what is actually triggering his deplatforming? Is it the stuff he's been doing on COVID? I mean, that's what I would guess, because they're really, really sensitive. They're making sure to get rid of anybody's content right now who is questioning any aspect of it. Or is it something else? Because, Last American Vagabond does a lot of work on deep politics, completely unrelated to masks and COVID. He does a lot of stuff about the coups in South America. He's extremely anti-imperialist, anti-war, anti-intelligence agencies doing coups. So it's, it kind of makes you wonder. And I think, more and more people that I know right now are talking about alternate ways to reach our audience that's not reliant on YouTube or any of these other social media networks. I think that's really the only thing that you can do, because to try to fight these networks or to try to fight for your rights to stay on, it's clearly not working. I mean, you can try to appeal YouTube to get your channel back on, but how many times has that actually worked? How many times has someone been able to get their channel back online after like harmful content, flags have been put on there? Urbit. I don't know what that is, Michael. How's it going, by the way? I don't know what that is. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go right now. So hit me up later about that, because I don't even, I may be familiar with it, but the name doesn't ring a bell for me right now. So thank you for coming in to watch MAME Politics episode 86. And I think within the week, or maybe a couple weeks from now, I will have the ultimate console gaming PC. And so think of any games from PS3 or before. If you could think of any games you'd like to see me play, I will have them. So let me know. And not sure when the next MAME Politics is going to be. Probably another one before the election for sure. Maybe a couple more. So thank you again, guys, for joining me on MAME Politics. And as always, if you want to get access to all of the previous 85 episodes of MAME Politics in their entirety, you can do so by becoming a Patreon subscriber of mine at patreon.com/Robbie Martin. And we are also doing, I haven't fully announced this yet, but we are doing a live stream anniversary episode of Media Roots Radio, 10-year anniversary episode. So that's going to air on October 30th, which is technically our 10-year anniversary. And it's going to be Abby and I. She's not here in my area right now, so we're trying out a new software that seems to actually do really smooth simulcasting of both of us at the same time. And it's going to be really fun. And we're going to take audience questions. We're going to ask each other some embarrassing questions, and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, not sure what time of the day it'll be yet, but October 30th will be the day. So, yeah, subscribe to her Media Roots YouTube channel. I put the URL up on my Twitter page. And when you subscribe to that, you'll find out we're going to put up the link to the premiere for the stream like at least a few days before it aired. So you'll be able to like find out the exact time it's going to be on and be notified as soon as it starts airing and all that stuff. So thank you again, everybody. Take care and have a good rest of your day.